Back at it, television family. It is a Monday, 21st day of April, 2025. I'm Dan Koontz, your host. Hope you had a good Easter weekend. We're back at it here as we get ready to kick off the 106th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. Things get going at noon on Thursday, not far from where I'm sitting, just a couple of blocks down the road at Memorial Park. The Chief for a Day ceremony kicks things off, and then we're going. 11 days of goofing off. Well, not really. We'll be working. We got the Technoplex Youth Parade. We'll have it for you live right here on the NCWLIFE channel coming up this Saturday. And then next week, we got the Les Schwab Classy Chassis Parade and the Stimilk Growers Grand Parade. So if you can't make it out and about to watch the parades, which is the centerpiece of the festival, we'll have it for you here on the NCWLIFE channel. Not too bad, 45 degrees. Tomorrow morning at this time, we could be at 35 degrees. There is a freeze watch in effect for almost the entire viewing area. We're going to see very cold overnight lows for this time of the year. So if you've already planted something out there, you may not make it through the night. We'll have forecast details coming up, but it's going to be chilly. It's also going to be a little breezy today. And tomorrow we warm up Wednesday, Thursday, and then things get unsettled again on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All the forecast details that you need are coming up, plus news, lots on this Monday. Sports, the Mariners are playing some pretty good baseball. They've won 8 of their last 10. They've won 4 series in a row. They took it to the Blue Jays yesterday in Toronto. We'll have highlights of that, plus all the prep scores. And on Thursday, they had the groundbreaking ceremony for the Confluence Parkway Phase 1 project. You certainly know about this by now. Our own Casey Stafford went out and talked to all of the businesses that were willing to talk to her about what they're going to have to do to relocate, because they have to relocate. They can't stay where they were because that's where the roadway is going to be. There's only one thing that closed. The Fran's Bakery retail store closed, which kind of a bummer because I love going there and I miss talking to Ozzy and the crew. Fran's is still here. They just had to move the distribution center where the trucks are and all that stuff. So Fran's Bakery moved, just the retail store closed. And then other businesses in that area are relocating. Some have already relocated. Some are getting almost done with it. Bear Signs and Embroidery, Earth Hearts Collision Repair, Expressions by Murph, and the Wenatchee School of Karate. Casey interviewed all of those 4 businesses. We'll have those for you in the back half of the program because I think it's pertinent. Here we, let's see. Yeah, let's do. What do you call those things? Cameras? Yeah, let's do the cameras around the valley. It's Monday and I didn't sleep very well last night, so bear with me. Just a few clouds and that's about it. We had a big difference between the afternoon high on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday we got up to 70 degrees. It was a beautiful day. Then we only got to 61 yesterday, so it was considerably cooler on Easter Sunday than it was on Saturday. Our normal high is 63, so it just felt real cool because that 70 degree mark made us feel real warm. Our last day under 14 hours of daylight. Sunrise this morning was 6 o'clock sharp. Sunset tonight, 7:59. Made it easy for me to do the math. 13 hours and 59 minutes of daylight. We will go over the 14-hour mark for daylight on Tuesday. Good morning to the valley from the cross cam. Looks like the foothills are still pretty green. Hopefully they'll stay that way for a while. Camera number 2. We are off to, ooh, that's beautiful. That's got to be Steins. I want to say, no, you know, I'm changing my mind. That is not. That's the monitor camera. That's what that is. That's the monitor camera, because I recognize Cashmere off in the distance and Stein Hill. So this is the monitor camera. Great view there. You can see the irrigation canal, the Wenatchee River, and the highway. Beautiful view there. And it looks like a few clouds hanging around up in the Cascades. They had snow on Stevens Pass, by the way, yesterday, which wasn't really a surprise, but they had winter driving conditions. Beautiful view of the monitor area, and all the orchards are getting busy. Hope the cold weather tonight doesn't damage any of your crops. Camera number 3. We are off to that area there. I'm seeing clouds and I'm seeing trees. I don't know what we're looking at here. It's a beautiful view. Lots of trees and a little slice of the highway. I don't know, maybe that's the Valley High camera turned around. I don't know what it is. Beautiful view, whatever it may be. I'm out of practice with the PTZ cameras. Camera 4. Gee, it must be a Monday. There you go, Lake Wenatchee. That's a no-brainer. They have considerably more clouds up there. And it looks like the snow continues to melt, but I'm still seeing some patches of snow, or maybe those are sand traps down at the bottom of your screen at the Cato Glen Golf and Ski Resort. That camera zoomed in just a little bit, and the snow continues to recede off Dirty Face Mountain. One slide to show for you, that is the freeze watch and the geographic locations. If you live in the turquoise colored area, going to get chilly. Now, we're going to get below freezing? No, I don't think so. A little bit above freezing, maybe like 34, 35 for the Wenatchee Valley. It could get below freezing, or certainly to the 32 degree mark. Out in the Columbia Basin, you're going to be a little cooler than the Wenatchee Valley. Also up in the Omak-Okanagan Way, a little cooler in the Methow Valley, because sometimes that air can get trapped pretty much right down at the surface. So it is going to be rather chilly. Freeze watch begins at midnight tonight, goes until 9 o'clock tomorrow. So get ready for some frosty conditions. I think we're going to stay above freezing in the Wenatchee Valley, but it's going to be close. From the National Weather Service, here's what we're talking about. 58, that's all we're going to get to today. It's also going to be a little on the breezy side. Winds out of the northwest about 10 to 15 miles an hour, the occasional gust stronger than that. We're going to say right around 36 or 37 for the overnight low tonight, and it's still going to be breezy. Usually the wind dies down in the evening hours, but the days are getting longer, and so the wind's going to be hanging around in the overnight hours all the way into early Tuesday morning, and again, pretty chilly. Not quite as chilly on Tuesday night. Once the frost burns off, whatever we get, we'll warm up to about 62 and no wind really in the forecast on Tuesday. Wednesday, we warm up still to 67. We top off the gas tank with 69 or 70 on Thursday for the first day of the Apple Blossom Festival, and then things get unsettled again. We're going to cool back down to right around normal with a slight chance of a little bit of rain on Saturday for the Technoplex Youth Parade. As long as it doesn't rain like it did last year at the Stumol Growers Grand Parade, I'll be happy with that. There you go. There's your forecast from the National Weather Service. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, your Monday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Central Washington Water is home to the Hot Spring Spa for over 45 years. Come see the Freshwater Smart IQ. It monitors your saltwater spa's pH balance, chlorine, and more. Or the cold plunge tub that will leave you feeling rejuvenated. Plug-and-play spas make hot tubbing easy. With great financing available, cold water, salt water, hot water, Central Washington Water has a spa for your budget and your lifestyle. Stop by today.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
Quite a bit of sunshine, at least here in the Wenatchee Valley, 45 degrees, right around 60 or so for the afternoon high. It's going to be windy, quite a lot of sunshine, but a little windy, very cool tonight with the frost watch in effect, and then we gradually warm up until we cool back down again. It's about 10 minutes after the hour. A 48-year-old Hispanic man was shot and killed Friday night in East Wenatchee, and the suspected shooter is in custody. Assistant Chief Eric Hampton of the East Wenatchee Police Department said in a press release that the unnamed victim was shot in the chest shortly after 10 o'clock in the vicinity of 9th Street Northeast and North Baker Avenue and died en route to Confluence Health Hospital. The alleged shooter, a 44-year-old Hispanic male, was identified by witnesses as a neighbor of the victim. He was arrested without incident and booked into the Chelan County Regional Jail. Neither the name of the victim or the shooter has yet been released. A man accused of distributing fentanyl and methamphetamine in Okanogan County and throughout eastern Washington was convicted by a federal jury last week. 45-year-old Luis Esquivel Bolaños, a Mexican national, was found guilty Wednesday of 5 counts, including conspiracy, distribution, and possession of narcotics. Federal prosecutors say Esquivel trafficked meth and fentanyl on behalf of the Jalisco cartel in the Oroville area, as well as on the Colville Indian Reservation and tribal communities in Montana. An estimated 61,000 fentanyl tablets, 80 pounds of methamphetamine, 6 pounds of heroin, and more than 2 pounds of cocaine were seized in Okanogan County as part of the investigation. Acting U.S. Attorney Richard Barker called the volume of drugs staggering. Esquivel is due to be sentenced in July. He faces the possibility of life in prison. 5 other people involved in the drug scheme have reached plea agreements with Barker's office. Medical leaders from around north central Washington joined U.S. Representative Kim Schreier and U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell on Thursday to voice their opposition to potential cuts to Medicaid. The roundtable included CEOs and top medical professionals at Confluence Health, Columbia Valley Community Health, Lake Chelan Health, and Cascade Medical Center. Over $880 billion in Medicaid is at risk of being cut by congressional Republicans, and approximately 1.9 million individuals are on Medicaid in this state. Lake Chelan Health CEO Aaron Edwards says his hospital would be at risk of losing labor and delivery services. Edwards said other doctors would have to take care of births, including emergency medicine physician Dr. Matt Tillman, who said the loss of Medicaid would affect whole communities.
The last thing that an emergency medicine physician wants to do is catch babies. But I think the more important thing is to note that while we talk about the percentages of recipients for Medicaid in certain districts in certain areas, I think it would be naive for our nation to think that only those people are going to be losers if these things are cut. Rural hospitals operate on small margins, and there are a lot of rural hospitals in the United States that are closing or at risk of closing. And if you cut Medicaid funding to a rural hospital, the losers are the entire community, especially if that hospital closes its doors. It is not just the recipients of Medicaid. It will be everyone in that community that is affected, and it will be to some significant detriment. So it really just comes down to what are we valuing as a nation? Do we value the health of our people, or do we value something else?
As the Washington legislature continues towards its April 27th deadline, we'll see if they can make that, lawmakers have taken a step forward on one of Governor Bob Ferguson's top priorities. From the Olympia News Bureau, Murrow News fellow Albert James has the latest on what lawmakers are doing to fund police hiring and how their work could have been overturned by the governor himself.
Any budget I sign must include this funding.
Governor Ferguson made it clear shortly after being sworn in he wanted $100 million for a police hiring grant program. The legislature took one step closer to the goal Wednesday as the Senate passed House Bill 2015. The bill establishes a grant program to financially support local law enforcement agencies in hiring and retaining officers, but goes a step further, supporting mental health co-response, community outreach, and other public safety efforts.
Because it takes everyone to make sure that each and every one of us remains safe. And that is what this bill does.
Among the requirements for grant eligibility, agencies must receive funding from existing local criminal justice or public safety taxes, or from a new tax created by the bill, which local governments can approve under certain conditions. Republican Jeff Holey spearheaded the initial attempt for a police officer hiring grant. He says the bill that passed out of the Senate is a good compromise that helps address a growing challenge in hiring police officers.
We've got something that we can't just turn back the clock and fix one thing that's going to fix everything. It's not. but this bill's a start.
The bill passed with bipartisan support and opposition. While they want more police, some Republicans had concerns about opening the door for a new tax at a time of unaffordability.
We need to do this, or allow this to be done, I will say, in order for citizens to be able to get the public safety that they deserve. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to vote no because I believe that we should be doing this without the tax increase.
The program relies on funding from the state operating budget. The House proposal set aside $25 million over the next 2 years, while the Senate proposal offered no funding. At a press conference earlier this month, Governor Ferguson repeated his call for $100 million over 2 years and said he would veto the budget if it falls short.
At some point, I just would believe in saying to the side, this is our bottom line. And anyone who ever worked with me, any entities we had a lawsuit against knows I did not deviate from those bottom lines.
The funding for the grant program could change as the House and Senate negotiate. The bill is back in the House after the Senate made some amendments. Both the bill and the budget will have to pass out of the legislature by April 27th. In Olympia, I'm Albert James reporting.
And on Thursday, they did the groundbreaking ceremony. Construction of Phase 1 of the Confluence Parkway project is officially underway. In attendance, Wenatchee Mayor Mike Poyer, Congresswoman Kim Schreier, Senator Maria Cantwell, and Chelan County Commissioner Brad Hawkins. Phase 1 of the project will include 2 new bridges across the railway at McKittrick and North Miller, a new roundabout at North Miller and Holly, and other things as well. Construction of Phase 1 is scheduled to be completed late in 2027, followed by Phase 2.
Confluence Parkway is designed to bring communities together. This project will improve mobility, enhance safety for all users, including drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians, reduce congestion, and provide a critical new emergency access route, making our city more resilient and better connected. In 2021, we were proud to receive a federal infra grant award, making this first phase of Confluence Parkway a reality.
June of 2021, the administration officially awarded a $92 million infra grant for the city of Wenatchee. In fact, it was the largest grant anywhere in the entire country that year. And it could not have gone to a more deserving project. Confluence Parkway is a vital investment in the future of Wenatchee for improving safety and reducing emergency response times and strengthening connections between communities. By alleviating congestion, it'll cut travel time for commuters and transit users, while also providing an alternative evacuation route in case of wildfire, which we know we need.
This is a $90 million project, but it's critical to the Apple, capital, but also to the nation. We need this part of infrastructure to have agriculture produced and to reach markets in a timely fashion, because otherwise, we'll lose shelf space. So the investment is about moving freight, and we were able to convince people nationally that anything that moves freight creates jobs, helps create competitiveness for us, helps us deliver to that market in a timely fashion. So we got a lot of money, and this project got $90 million. We want to make sure that all the obligations that were met in the last transportation package are fulfilled. And now it's not too soon to start on next year's second big investment in infrastructure, because the infrastructure bill needs to be reauthorized in 2026. I'm saying to my colleagues, both Democrats and Republicans, let's get to work on that and pass it in early 2026.
Besides, I don't know how many people, 150 people maybe here, but it's all the leaders in our community. And like Senator Cantwell said, it's the people that have been here from day one, and it's incredible to see that support, because it's going to be, it's obviously 5 phases, it's going to be continued support. So this is unbelievable to me.
Well, this project has been in the works for so many years. I mean, years before I even became the Congresswoman here. And I remember meeting in 2017 and 2018 with Mayor Kuntz at the time. And so to work so hard to get funding in a bipartisan way, and now to get shovels in the ground, it just feels so real and so exciting.
And that is the news on this Monday, the 21st day of April, and it's going to be a busy day for the news crew. My trick knee is telling me that. So if you want to stay in the loop of what's going on around here, watch the news, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight, 5, 6, and 10, right here on the NCWLIFE channel. If that doesn't work in your schedule and you got the internet, and I think you do, you can watch the news just by logging onto our website right around 5 o'clock or going to our Facebook page or our YouTube page. And don't forget, if something out there you think might be newsworthy, don't hesitate. You send us an email. We'll take it from there. news@ncwlife.com. Look who's playing pretty good baseball. The Mariners. Don't believe me? I'll show you in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel. The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. It's time to enjoy one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Celebrate Apple Blossom with the Stamilk Grand Parade Saturday, May 3rd at 11 a.m. on the NCWLIFE channel. Coverage is brought to you in part by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington, Boswell's Home Furnishings, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Mary Maids, Together for Youth, and the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Watch the Stamilk Grand Parade Saturday, May 3rd on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel.
Sports at 23 minutes after the hour. Cal Raleigh and Rowdy Tellez each hit 2-run home runs. Dylan Moore out of the solo shot. Mariners beat the Blue Jays 8-3 yesterday. They take the 3-game series. The Mariners have now won 8 of their last 10 and have won 4 straight series.
Dylan Moore has put up some terrific numbers. Funny how many more at-bats he has against right-handed pitching this year. All 4 of his homers coming off southpaws. Might there be a 5th to add? This is back and it is gone. 5th home run this year for Dylan Moore. He starts this game with a bang. And it's 1-0 Mariners.
Dylan Moore is so short, quick, and compact, and his ability to go up the middle in the opposite field is what allows him to crush this sweeper to the left side.
Crushed. This ball is blasted, and it might keep going off the facade of the second deck. Cal Raleigh doing damage. They will not let him back. His 11th career home run against these Blue Jays, and he has just tortured this team north of the border.
Aaron, they are literally going to escort him to the airport. Put him at the front of the customs line. Ends up being late on that fastball because of it.
Randy, past Bichette's glove. Williamson scores. Rivas races home. The throw is not in time. And the Mariners open it up in the second. Randy Arozarena, first pitch swinging. And Mitch Garver, the batter. He goes after the first pitch. Bichette can't get to this one either. Julio steams around third. He scores easily. Arozarena tiptoes into third base. And the Mariners just keep piling on here against Easton Lucas and the Blue Jays. It's 6-0.
Is make it a seamless transition when Kirk is back there or when you're back there.
Ooh, that's off the glove of Castillo. A run will score, and everybody is safe. And in hindsight, Castillo would have been much better off letting that ball go, but the Blue Jays catch a bit of a break and get their first run.
And they need it from the top guys in the order, for sure.
Liner into left, a base hit. Wagner jogs home. Lucas up to second, RBI single Bichette at 6-2.
Trying to put him away. This is down the left field line. Maybe trouble. Arozarena. Does he make the catch? It's a fair ball, and Arozarena makes the catch. Falling down to the ground, and he gets the Mariners out of a bases loaded jam of the second inning.
Ropes it into left center field. Off the wall on a bounce, and he is into second base. Another absolute bullet off the bat of Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Rowdy out to right field. Rowdy Tellez. He has done it once again. Homering in every game here in Toronto. It's a pinch hit, 2-run blast. And extends the Mariners' lead in the 7th inning.
How about that? A Mariners fan collecting that baseball. It's Rowdy's 18th home run here at Rogers Center. He talked about them escorting Cal out of town. I don't think Rowdy wants to leave.
Scored 8 runs in each of the next 2 games. Well, Tellez is on the warning track, and Rowdy into the net. Does he catch it clean? He does. And that's how it ends. The Mariners post 8 runs for the 2nd straight day in Toronto, and they have won their 4th consecutive series.
Rodin, no match for Rowdy Tellez. He ran into him yesterday at first, and neither is the net. Nothing can stop this man right now. A really nice catch right there by Rowdy Tellez, running out of room.
Mariners continue their road trip tomorrow. They'll be in Boston to take on the Red Sox. Scoreboard from yesterday. Mariners are just a game now behind the Rangers because the Rangers got shut out by the Dodgers. Brewers ripped up the Athletics. Padres snuck by the Astros last night. Prep baseball from over the weekend. Friday, lots of sweeps. Moses Lake swept Wenatchee. Liberty Bell swept Manson. That was Friday. And then doubleheaders all day Saturday. And as you can see, lots of sweeps there too. Kashmir rolled over Wapato on Saturday. It was Omak over Cascade in both of their games. Prosser swept Quincy 7-3 and 5-0. Prep baseball on Saturday that weren't sweeps. Well, they all are. Here's more. Othello swept Ephrata in baseball, and Okanagan swept Tenasket in baseball. So there was a lot of brooms going on. Prep softball scoreboard on Friday. Liberty Bell swept Manson 16-5 and 22-3. Prep softball on Saturday. It was more sweeps. Chelan swept Brewster in both of their games. Omak swept Cascades in identical scores there. Prep softball on Saturday. More sweeps. Lake Roosevelt swept Bridgeport. Tenasket swept Okanagan. They don't do doubleheaders in soccer, but here is the scoreboards. Wenatchee returned to their winning ways. They took care of Davis 5-2. Eastmont all over Eisenhower. Moses Lake snuck by Sunnyside on the pitch. Kashmir just creamed White Swan and Chelan over Oroville. That was Friday. On Saturday, in prep soccer, your winners, Omak, Cascade, East Valley, Kings, Okanagan, and Liberty Bell. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Happy National Kindergarten Day today, because this is the birthday of the guy who came up with the idea of kindergarten, Friedrich Wilhelm August Froebel, who invented kindergarten in Germany in 1837. Fun facts about kindergarten. 11 states plus our nation's capital require full-day kindergarten. 34 states offer half-day kindergarten. The cutoff, 19 states require that children be 5 years old or older by September 1st in order to enroll in kindergarten. There are 5 states that don't require kindergarten at all. Alaska, Idaho, New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey as a state, but New Jersey allows individual school districts to require kindergarten. So there you go. Happy National Kindergarten Day today. I remember mine well. Well, I don't. It's the bottom of the hour. Today in history. There it is, the famous surgeon's photograph. The most famous photo allegedly showing the Loch Ness Monster is published for the first time in the Daily Mail in London. This was April 21st, 1934. In April of 1994, it was revealed that it was a hoax. Yeah, it's they do. It's like I think like a toy boat and sunk it and stuck a cardboard thing on it or something like that. The most famous photo of the Loch Ness Monster, which isn't a photo of the Loch Ness Monster, by the way. There's the loch itself. So I don't know. Maybe Nellie's down there for all I know. I don't think so. This is a tragedy that led to wholesale changes in how aircraft are monitored in this country. United Airlines Flight 736, Los Angeles to New York, collides head-on with a United States Air Force fighter jet just over the skies of Enterprise, Nevada. The 47 on board the DC-7 were killed, so were both pilots of the fighter jet, because flights involving military aircraft and civilian passenger airplanes were not coordinated. Nobody knew where the other ones were, especially the Air Force and the Navy. They didn't like telling anybody where they were doing up there. So 4 months after this accident, the Federal Aviation Act of 1958 was signed into law, and that created the Federal Aviation Administration, which has total authority over the control of airspace in this country, including military activity. They had a bunch of close calls, but this is the event that finally made it happen. 63 years ago today, April 21st, 1962, the Century 21 Exposition opens, known around here as the Seattle World's Fair, and here's a really cheesy film.
You'd better skedaddle to Seattle for the fair. Everyone will be there, breathing in the sea air. The future is there for us, we'll take a peek and see a glimpse of the next century, revealing space age mystery. Easy to jet to and so nice to get to, the people are friendly and gay. You'll be so thankful when you fill your tank full and head out Seattle way. You better skedaddle to Seattle, do you hear? The whole world is planning to come and examine the fair in Seattle this year.
By the way, the Seattle World's Fair made a profit, which in those days didn't really happen too much. Today is Patriots Day. In Boston, the traditional running of the Boston Marathon is today. 45 years ago, Rosie Ruiz won the women's division of the Boston Marathon in a record time, 2 hours, 31 minutes, and 56 seconds, and almost immediately, people said, she doesn't look like she ran 26 miles. And then the competitors, the spectators said, I don't remember seeing her during the first 25 miles. And the witnesses came forward a couple of days later and said, yeah, she ran onto the course from the sidelines about a mile from the finish. Nobody saw her. And then it turned out that she qualified for the Boston Marathon by running the New York Marathon, and turns out she cheated in that too the year before. She took the subway. That was a scandal. Birthdays, two heavenly birthdays. The legendary Joe McCarthy. His .615 winning percentage in the regular season and .698 winning percentage in the playoffs are both the best of all time. The first manager to win pennants in both leagues. He won 8 pennants and 7 world championships with the Yankees. The most underrated manager of all time, the great Joe McCarthy. Mars Joe, they called him. Born this day in 1887. And Her Royal Highness, Queen Elizabeth II, would have been 99 years old today. The longest lived and longest reigning monarch in British history, and the longest serving female head of state, period. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They have a tune-up special, a spring tune-up special. They'll come out and give you a good deal and make sure that your HVAC is ready to go when the heat comes. We got an opinion from Mike Mad Dog Mignotti, and then our own Casey Safford profiled 4 businesses are being forced to relocate because of the Confluence Parkway project. You'll meet and hear about all 4 of those businesses when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Celebrate Apple Blossom with the Technoplex Youth Parade, Saturday, April 26th at 11 a.m. on the NCWLIFE channel. Coverage is brought to you in part by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington, Boswell's Home Furnishings, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Merry Maids, Together for Youth, and the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. It's the Technoplex Youth Parade, Saturday, April 26th on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Best for Less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest-lasting, best-performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, a presentation of the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. The 106th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival begins its 11-day run on April 24th. The first weekend features the Technoplex Youth Parade, which you can watch live on the NCWLIFE channel. The food fair and the Blossoms and Brews Beer Garden opens on the 24th, as does the Giza Credit Union Entertainment Stage and the Fantastic Shows Carnival. Appleblossom.org has all the info.
When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, someone recently posted this question on Facebook. Which segment of humanity, which group of people has been the most persecuted in human history? Well, my first thought was, well, the Jews. But then the poser of that question said that women, females, were the most persecuted and repressed people in human history. And I had to admit that was correct. You know, if you think about it, women have been abused with impunity, treated as chattel, relegated to subservient status, a situation that continues to this day, to some degree or another. And as always, I realized that the best way to deal with this inequity was not to point it out in others, but to deal with it myself. The question is, do I treat the women in my life with the consideration and respect they deserve? This is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and that's my opinion.
Celebrate Apple Blossom with a Classy Chassis Parade on Friday, May 2nd at 6 p.m. on the NCWLIFE channel. Coverage is brought to you in part by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington, Boswell's Home Furnishings, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Merry Maids, Together for Youth, and the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Watch the Classy Chassis Parade Friday, May 2nd at 6 p.m. on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel.
When you enjoy Abby's Pizza at your place, close your eyes and you can taste old-fashioned values, classic pizza parlor decor, and generations of tradition. Recreate that magic. Open your eyes and head to abbys.com. With pickup and delivery options, no matter where you dine, Abby's just tastes better. This is Skinny, and he helped found Abby's 60 years ago. In honor of Skinny, we're putting his favorite pizza on sale. Savory pizza sauce, Canadian bacon piled to the edge, and juicy tomatoes make this a very special pizza. Order your Skinny special right now at abbys.com.
Welcome to Gilded Lily Home, where something extraordinary is waiting. You'll be delighted to find an amazing selection of specialty foods and tabletop decor. Browse their uniquely curated collection of gifts. Shop for yourself in their wide collection of jewelry and clothing, and for your home with their amazing hand-selected furniture, lighting, and decor. The Gilded Lily Home, where you can step in for inspiration and leave with beautiful items for your home, your kitchen, and your lifestyle.
What's your awesome? Whatever it is, Washington Trust Bank can help you get there. Learn more at watrust.com/awesome.
started the business, started putting it together in 2005, and we moved into that building in 2006. So we were there basically 19 years. Started in the basement, little bitty shop, and then we ended up getting the whole top floor and half the basement area because we've grown. The talk of what was being planned when it was being planned, I didn't really take it too serious because it went from month to month because they kept changing their plans and everything. And then we had a meeting with Terra Right-of-Way Service, and he gave us a timeline, which we had like 3 or 4 months before we had to move. So we had plenty of time to start searching and looking, and they were helping us search and look. But man, it was, out of all the things, finding a place was probably the most stressful. And then it got down to where I was just driving around looking for empty buildings. And then I thought I had a building down here. Jeremy had a business down the road here, and it looked like the building was vacant. But he said a locksmith company was in there. But he goes, hey, I got this building up on Main Street there on Wenatchee Avenue you might be interested in. And so it's taken a lot of work, but we actually found a building. So then the stress kind of went down. And then Chris was really great with staying in contact with me and helping me down the line, getting bids on moving our stuff for us, and just making sure that there was at least stress as possible. I mean, it's stressful moving, especially if you've been somewhere for 19 years. I mean, we had a lot of stuff. There'd be a lot of stuff. We got a smaller facility here, and then I also rented a shop down the road at Mill Pond. We got to work on that because we just kind of used that for storage to move. But that's where we're going to do the vehicles because it's a big heated shop to pull vans and stuff in. Well, I had over 3,000 square foot in the old place. I didn't use a lot of it, but I had it. And then we went to about 1,800 square foot. So we lost a little over 1,000 square foot. But it's okay because we just be more efficient and everything's closer. I think we'll do better here. It got a little tight for us at one time. And they went above and beyond to make sure that we had the money to operate during this move. They really helped out a lot. I mean, they said they were going to do it, and then they followed through. And then when things got really tight, they speeded up the process for me. And it really saved my bacon. You know, I was using my savings, my retirement and stuff, and so they really helped me out as far as financially, because you know, loss of business and everything. They took in consideration everything. It's probably a well-planned, necessary move by the city, you know, to keep traffic flowing. At first, I was like, oh, dang it, you know, because I had to move. But in all reality, I think that it's a plan for growth in our community. And sometimes I think growth is not good, but really it is, you know. I mean, anything that grows is better.
Been in this location for 17 years, I believe now. And have had to move in the process through here from another location when it got sold and tore down to get to here. That was like 15 years ago. And here we do it again.
In 23, we started, was it 23? Yeah, 23, we rented another location in addition to the 7,500 square feet we have here. We rented another 5,000 square feet. We're growing rapidly. In 21, we just doubled business and had to have more square footage. And so we rented another 5,000 square foot building across the parking lot. And we were notified that about 6 months after starting to work in that location, that building was going to be torn down with the Confluence Parkway project. And so that was exactly a year ago. And they notified us that by April 1st of 2025, that building was scheduled to be torn down starting that month. So we had that much time to get basically another location, and we had to be out of there at that point. The company that they've worked with is a right-of-way company out of Olympia, and he's been fairly good to deal with. Answers from the city itself, even going to city meetings, has not really been great communication. You really don't get the same answer twice, and that's been my biggest issue, is not having the answers that we need, and not in a timely fashion either.
We've been extremely proactive through this process of trying to do what we can to find a place.
Yeah.
We did our own survey with our customers coming in, both for estimates and repairs, letting them know that this is coming, and to try and get a feel for how far they would go, whether it be the business park at the airport, or Baker Flats,
or Sunny Slope,
or how far out. And it was quite evident very quickly that this market for the collision industry is in Wenatchee.
Yeah.
So we had to make it very clear to the powers that be that we have to stay in Wenatchee.
We had never looked at it before, but the old Napa shop down at 422 South Wenatchee Avenue is tiny. It's smaller than the original building that we lease here. It's like 6,900 square feet. And the only thing that made us be able to consider it is the old pressure washing one on the corner that's now a dirt lot. They've torn that down after he retired. And we were able to get that with the old Napa buildings. We have signed the lease, and we're moving forward April 1st. We're supposed to be able to get the keys, and we won't be out of there April 1st like they want, but that's the plan.
We'll do the best we can to have it be as seamless as possible for the customer. Bottom line is, if the city wants us out of here, they have to help us get out of here, which means they have to get us permits.
Yeah, they've got to expedite that permit process pretty quickly, and we get the keys the 1st of April. The lease is all signed and ready to go, and they've just got to get the permitting process and get the federal dollars on board. That's been one thing that we've paid out of pocket for a lot of things that are to be reimbursed, and some of it's been paid 3 months ago, and we've not yet seen any reimbursement.
I'm Daniel Patrick Murphy. I've been a sculptor since I was 13, but professionally, age 29. I have been at this location for 12 years. When they told me they were going to destroy this building for highway improvements, I have to admit I was taken by surprise. If I remember right, it was a good year of warning a year ago. But personally, I didn't believe it. I don't know why. I don't think I wanted to accept it, but I had to. When there was a few months left, I had to go into serious talking with the city planners, and I chose to have a motorhome instead of live in an apartment. But my first choice was to have a moderate home with a shop and or large garage. This is 1,400 square foot. Even a garage isn't big enough, but if that's all I could get, I was willing. So I'm just very thankful for what the city has done for me, but I'm very sad because I don't have a shop anymore.
So do you support the Confluence Parkway project and believe that the traffic it will ease for the community justifies the number of local businesses displaced?
Yes, I believe it's a well-justified project, and I'm not against it. It just, when it hits you personally, like, hi, this wonderful thing's going to happen, but guess what? There's no shop. That's my whole thing. I wanted a shop and a place to park the motorhome with all the hookups. I would have been happy.
So you're going to be parking this motorhome that the city provided for you at a residential address?
Well, the city planners found it and inquired, and I agreed because there was nowhere else to go. I agreed because you can't just park a motorhome where you want. And so I'm there, but I'm not thrilled by it.
Why did you decide to relocate instead of just closing? You know, some people in your situation might not think that the work and process of relocating is worth the trouble after so many years in one space.
Well, see, sculpture is part of my life. I've been sculpturing since I was 13 years old. I'm 74 now. Quitting your passion, it doesn't make any sense. Usually when people retire or they're forced to retire, they sit in an easy chair, and the statistics say that they could potentially die within a few years. Homie's not ready to kick the bucket. I am not ready to quit. I want a shop and I'm going to fight for it. I'm not going to fight anyone. I just, you know, it's an expression. I need a shop. I've got to continue my passion.
So you view this motorhome situation as a temporary solution while you continue to search for a more permanent shop?
Yes. And I would like to say, with a little humor, I'll be back.
So at one point they were looking at taking the whole building. And then I said, no, then we'll just take 3 units, which was crazy because it's nowhere near where the construction's at. And they were looking at that because the basement here goes under 3 units. Then they're talking about, well, maybe we just take the 1 unit, ours, up to this lobby wall and take the whole thing away, right? Then they would have had to rebuild the basement wall, the basement access, a new exterior wall and everything else. And then they kept looking at the footprint of the overpass and going, well, we really don't need to take that much. So the brick wall behind you, which is this side of the office lobby here, that's originally an exterior wall. This used to be a fruit packing plant built in 1929. So now, from this brick wall out is going away. 2/3 of our building is going away.
So when we've heard things, both on the start date and what they're doing, that has been subject to change without notice. Yeah.
So when it was actually clarified that part or all of this building was going to go away, that was early last year. And so we were told the project wouldn't start until the fall of 2025 this year. And so we started looking at alternate properties kind of casually. And it was November 5th that I received an email that said, no, you need to be out by April 1. And no April Fools, April 1, right on the email. And we're gonna have to fudge on that a little bit because of the property we're going to is they're not moving out till after April 1. So I support maybe not this project 100% the way it's currently laid out. I definitely support the idea and the need for traffic mitigation at the north end of Wenatchee. In all candidness, I'd support it more if it didn't impact me personally. So at the end unit of our building, this is the plan du jour. It has changed, I couldn't tell you how many times, is that on a temporary basis, we're going to be moving 5 units down to hers for 4 months, 6 months, whatever it takes to do the demolition of 2/3 of this building, reconstruct the exterior wall. And so we'll be down there. It won't be far.
It's very hard. It's very hard to establish this, to have a reputation in your community, to serve your community for this long, and then to have this building be destroyed. I'm really not ready to hang it up. And we have a commitment to our students and our community, and that's one of the things that I've been doing the best I can do, talking to the students and saying, hey, yeah, we're moving, and it's going to be different.
But we're not going out of business.
It's not going to be the same, but what we're doing will always be the same, and it won't matter where we are.
You know, I'm 3.5 years with stage 4 cancer, and I'm still on the dojo floor teaching. So I do what I can out there when I can. Doing chemo every other week. 3 weeks this time because I need that push at the end of the month to move out of here. And so that's kind of an inconvenience as well. But so yeah, was a little stress in our lives over my cancer, and then we add the additional stress of this relocation process. So yeah, we've been pretty overwhelmed by all of this, and so I know that all the businesses involved, it impacts them greatly. It impacts their future, their financial income, everything. But for us, literally, it's impacting our life.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Spring into the good life. World-class wine, food, and hospitality meet on the shores of Lake Chelan. Chelan Cellars, bringing great wine, food, friends, and family together where vineyards and the good life bloom every spring.
Tipsy Canyon Winery has become the place to go for fine wine and unbelievable views of the Chelan Valley. Tipsy Canyon Winery is a year-round destination for wine lovers, so stay for the moment that becomes the memory at Tipsy Canyon Winery.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
We're slowly warming up. We're up to 46 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley, but that's not really the big weather story this week. It's going to get pretty darn chilly overnight tonight into early Tuesday morning. In fact, they have a freeze watch in effect. Now, are we going to get to the freezing mark in the valley? Probably not, but there are some locations in our viewing area, specifically up to the north of us in the Omak-Okanagan Valley, and also a little bit in the Methow Valley. They're running a bit of a chance of getting down to the freezing mark. And out of the Columbia Basin, Ephrata, Quincy, Moses Lake, you could get to 32 degrees or below tonight. So there is a freeze watch. It starts at midnight tonight, goes until 9 a.m. tomorrow, but we could be in for a pretty cool morning before we start warming up. In fact, all in all, the week looks pretty good. It's going to be a little breezy today. That's the only story about today. It's going to be a little breezy and a little below normal, but then we warm up rather nicely all the way through Thursday, and then we're going to cool off on Friday and maybe have things a tad bit unsettled. So quite a bit of sunshine today, a little on the windy side at times, depending on where you live. High right around 60 degrees, upper 50s anyway. And again, a little breezy tonight, and again, very chilly. Right around 37 for the overnight low, and that's going to be mild compared to some locations in our viewing area. Going to be cool. Our normal overnight low is 41, a little on the cool side. Up to 62 on Tuesday, up to 67 Wednesday, near 70 on Thursday. Perfect weather for day one of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival and all the activities. And then just in time for the first weekend, we're going to cool down a little bit with a slight chance of rain on Friday. I think we're going to be okay for the Technoplex Youth Parade on Saturday, but there's a slight chance, a little bit of rain, and the temperature will be about normal. That's it for us. Have a good and safe Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.